All right. GM everyone. Yep. All right. So testing mic. Good. All right. So GM everybody. Just want to be sure that we are live right now. Just give me a second and confirm that. Okay. Confirmed we are live. All right. So happy new week. Happy new month. Welcome to the month of August. And I'm so excited to be in the month of August because honestly, I can't wait for this year to wrap up. I'm so exhausted already. It's just the 8 months of the year 2026, and I'm this tired already. Like, I don't know how that's happening, but yeah, it's happening in real time. But regardless, we move, right? So, I know that we started about 17 minutes behind our scheduled time, and I'm really, really sorry about that. And that's due to some technical issues that we experienced before the live stream. So I really love to apologize for that took place. And if you are joining us right now, please do not forget to um, don't forget to retweet the live stream. And if you're watching us on YouTube, do well to quote retweet the live stream also. Oh, sorry, not quote retweet. I mean, copy the link and paste on your WhatsApp status or whatever platform it is that you use in for social media or that I use the most for social media activities. All right, so just in case you're joining for the first time, this is Unchained Africa by Afroplay, and one of the things that we do on this live stream is the fact that we speak to African founders building here in the Web3 space or using the blockchain technology to do solve amazing problems from Africa. All right. So aside from the fact that we're talking about the product and about the founders, we also look at getting back to you guys and educating you guys on these guys growth process, so you're able to ask your questions and probably also get to know them in person. And last week we had the founder of Spend with us. And if you are yet to listen to that live stream, please do well to visit our website at afroplay.org to catch up with all of our previous live streams. And also we also have our podcast also on Spotify at Afroplay Studio. All right, so and please let's do well to do that. And this live stream is going to be very, very quick because we're already behind time, and I just want to run with this. All right, so here with me is David. Let me bring David up. Hey, David. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay.
All right. So, how is your side today? Hope the weather is favorable.
Yeah, sorry I had a hold up. I was actually in the lecture hall and I thought that would have been done with the lecture before 4 p.m. So I'm
Mm,
really sorry about the hold up.
no, no, no. It's actually fine. It's actually fine. There's no problem. It's actually fine. I sorry. I didn't know you were a student, by the way.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's
Sorry.
fine.
What university is that?
I'm going to ATBU, Ahmed Tafawa Balewa University in Bauchi State. I'm a 300 level student studying electrical electronics engineering.
Oh, I mean that's very interesting. You're studying electrical electronic engineering and you're building Citadel, which I think they are two opposite roads entirely. You're
Yeah,
including identity in the Web3 space,
yeah,
but yet you're
yeah.
studying elect, which I find that very, very interesting. And he's a Akwa Ibom man. What took an Akwa Ibom man down to Bauchi State? Like what happened? What
Well,
didn't do
well,
at you know?
it was my sister. My sister had actually schooled there, and she told me of how the school was when it comes to education and other stuff like that. In learning and educating myself. So she was the one that gave me this. She gave me this school to go to because she said the school was very very important. I was like, yes, I need to go, and they do have the equipment and all those things like that. So from the south traveling to the north, and
Mm.
also I want to also experience how the northerners do things, and yeah, it's actually been an experience for me too.
Okay, that's nice. I hope you just marry an outside girl eventually, because I think that's what should happen. Since you want to explore, so don't forget to also explore down that route. By the way, all right.
Yeah,
So I'm sure you are pretty exhausted already, and I'm also very exhausted because it's already 4 p.m., almost 5, and I've
yeah,
been working literally all day. So I just make sure that we go down to the important things about what you're building, so we understand what you're building. and how the journey has
Right.
been like for you, and so that we'd also get to know you too as a person, the face
Right.
behind Sidentia. All right, so before we dive into whatever it is that we're going to be talking about Sidentia today, we would love to know you as a person. Can you please introduce yourself, David? What, how you got into Web3 space? What inspired you to start building things that you're building right now? And just little things about your personality.
All right. Thank you so much for having me because it's I myself. My name is David Etim. I'm from Akwa Ibom State, and also a software developer, and not fully experienced, but I have my knowledge about it and how it works. So I got onboarded into crypto 2022, and 2022 was a year of NFT, and
Mm,
NFT was how I got onboarded into Web3. That was the only thing I was doing at that time, trying to figure out how crypto works, how NFT works, how the blockchain entirely works. So that was the time where I had to do my own learning process. I had to educate myself. I had to learn. I had to grow, and it also made me do a deep dive on how the internet works generally, in the sense that the internet has actually made us to believe in accounts, and that was actually one of the things that made me build Sidentia, right? Because that was how the origination of the idea, the baby idea came up from, because I wanted to solve something which a lot of people don't really focus on, which is more like the security side of things. And it's very, very important that a lot of people move towards the side of value. I know a lot of people are chasing big hypes, AI, crypto, the new big thing, but they actually forget that they need to focus more on keeping, reaching out for security, right? I believe cyber securities and all these things will actually be the next big thing. A lot of people will be going towards that direction in making sure that they are they are safe, and all those things are something that have made me to work on this project Sidensha, and it has actually been a journey for me because it's not actually easy balancing school, balancing internet life, surviving, and all those things like that. But
mm,
I started, balancing the whole thing. I know I'm actually risking my education in some way, because there are actually some times whereby I get tired and all these things happen to me. But I just, I'm someone who is very religious too. Sometimes I pray to God, I tell God my situation, and sometimes He enables me, He gives me the strength to keep building, to keep growing, because I never can tell what the next future could look like. And I really want to also, you know, tell this to people that are watching this, that as long as you're a founder, all you just need to do is you need to keep grinding, keep the consistency, because consistency is actually something that makes you grow a long way. This is something that I've kept me till 2026, and it's something that I'm going to keep building, something I'm going to keep working on. So that's a little bit about myself, and I also have idea about how crypto works, and when it comes to blockchain and all these things like that, I have general knowledge about them. So
mm.
that is pretty much it about myself.
All right, thanks so much for sharing about yourself, your religious self. So that's actually very interesting. So
Yeah,
let's go down to Sidentia. All right. So for somebody watching
yeah,
this right now, and I'll be watching this in the coming in the
yeah.
nearest future, and they've not heard about Sidentia, probably hearing about Sidentia for the first time. What's Sidentia, and why should they pay attention? Why should it matter to anybody watching or listening to this?
Okay. Thank you very much for asking that beautiful question. When it comes to Sidentia, Sidentia is basically a human trust infrastructure for the human internet. And when I tell people that, a lot of people actually, get confused when I say that. I believe trust can be an infrastructure the same way electricity is solving problem, the same way education is solving problem. Trust can actually be an infrastructure for the human internet. And if you go deep dive into the internet itself, right, the internet has has made us to believe in accounts. There is no authenticity, there is no trust in the space. A lot of people utilizing and doing the negative things the of the internet, right? And one of the things that is have driven me in making sure that this is possible is because of the issue of scam. right? Sometimes I go into spaces, some people ask question, how can we stop scam? And they fail to understand that scam is something that needs to, it's something that a lot of people need to study on how it works, right? Because if the internet is built around trust, right, there's a trusted system, I believe scam will not be an issue, right? And that was one of the things that a lot of people don't really know, in the sense that when it comes to solving a real life issue, even down in the real life aspect of things, if you trust someone, right, in the real life aspect, I believe that you'll be able to relate some certain things. You'll be very confident about that person when it comes to the human behavior, interacting with people. Why don't we actually apply that in the internet? Today, some person can actually have duplicates of accounts, 5 accounts. You could use 5 accounts to do good, use the remaining five to do bad. And accounts flooding everywhere. These are things which I believe that trust can fix, right? And that was one of the things that have made me make Sidentia a trust infrastructure for the human internet. And why I made trust the infrastructure was because identity, it's in the sense that trust needs to start from somewhere, right? Trust needs to start from somewhere, and identity is part of it. I believe that because if you go deep down on my website, that is www.studential.com, I have this motto, and that motto is one human, one identity, and it's yours, right? So, and I believe that identity of yours is a tool that can help you across multiple platforms, right? I know there's a lot of freelancers in this space. And sometimes I go, because I'm also with Jobber, in the sense that sometimes I tell my client that I'm from Nigeria and all these things like that. We'll sometimes receive um this negative feedback, which is not really nice. So I believe that if there's a trusted system among the users, among people, we, the jobbers, the lovers, people who are finding opportunity, people can easily, move on easily with knowing that trust is moved with the system, not believing in assumptions, right? Not doing so much KYC, right? You already know that this person you're talking to, this person you're communicating to is actually a real human. So, and this is something which I believe that can be done. And I'm calling Sidentia the next human internet, basically for humans only, right? So that was the things that I believe that this is a project that could solve scam, impersonation, and some other things when it comes to organization taking controls of the users' data.
All right, all right. So thanks so much for that, by the way. So in summary, you guys are building more like a system that helps with KYC and making sure that the person is who they claim to be, right?
Yes,
All right,
but
yeah,
not
that's
just okay.
okay.
Okay,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening
my
to you.
my bad. Okay, so I would really call us another KYC platform, right? The
Hmm.
reason why there's a KYC platform, there's a KYC functionalities because we want to know a lot of people that are using our ecosystem. That's why there's a KYC, right? So we know that this person that is using our ecosystem, this person that is using us is a real person, right? And that is something that is important as a project like Sidentia, because we're dealing with trust. So we need to KYC people. But moving aside, KYC is just the beginning of it. There are other things attached to the project, in the sense that once you have done your KYC, you have this I call it the digital number, like a CID number. And now that number moves around platforms, right? It moves around spaces. It moves around, if you people know who you are, not so much doing KYC and all those things you have to do repeatedly. all the time, all the time, all the time, right? Sidential moves across different platforms, and this is something that will help other systems when it comes to dealing with real people. So I won't just call us another KYC platform, because there are other things that are attached to the system, right? And identity is part of it. There's a future which I have, which would I say, giving back to the users, I call it. Because deep down, if you want to really understand how data and information works, a lot of people, digital identity are being sold, informations are being sold, data are being sold, right? And it's not actually a right thing to do when it comes to something like that. We need to give the people back the user control, like, giving back people right to do whatever they want to do with their data.
Mm,
So I
mm,
know, even a KYC, someone doing a KYC, I'm collecting the data from them, I'm collecting information from them, but we give back. We tell them, do whatever you want to do with your data. It's yours, right? So that is something which I wanted to add additionally to that.
all right. Thank you. Thank you for the correction plus addition too. Really appreciate that. All right. So
Yes.
let's go down to how you collate this data. All right. So I'd love to walk
Yeah.
me through how, I mean, someone uses Sidencia right now. What are the information that they give to the platform to, number one, verify that they are humans, and number two,
Yeah.
verify that they are who they claim to be. All right. So
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. When it comes to the users' data and users' information, um, I forgot to say this. We have our very own database, and that database is called SidentDB, right? And the knowledge wise, when it comes to the computer science, database is actually collections of data and all those things. That is the basic knowledge about database. Now we collect this information from, take, my name is David, right? I go into Sidentia and I give Sidentia my name, I give them my phone number, I give them basically things about myself. You know how you sign up into a platform where
yeah.
you have all these things like that. So once you collect all those data are being stored in the database. Now, that database is an open source database that I do not have the right to tamper with anybody's data, right? You choose whatever information you want to give to the public, right? So what you're literally giving me is that you give me some certain you're giving me legal, because the way the system is built is that any information you're giving me must be a legal, um must be like your legal identity, right? And like the way Nigerian system is, where we have our NIN, our national IDs, all those things are part of the QIC, right? So even if you want to have an account today with us, you must still have a KYC. You must do your KYC in order for we to know that you're a real person, right? So that's literally giving us the legal information about yourself. And all those things are going to be researched, right? So even if you do a KYC, we don't just approve people immediately, right? For now, what we do is that anybody coming into our system, right? This is the reason why I did this, was because I want to really filter out the scammers and the good people, right? If you come into my system and you are not a verified person, you can't actually use my platform. The
Okay.
features that will be there will be locked, right? It's going to be locked. The only thing you can do in the site or the application itself is just to survey. You can't do anything, you can't chat, you can't do anything. It's so just basically going to be locked. So once you have done your KYC, you have given me legal information about yourself, and I've known you to do your, what I call it, your facial recognition, because your facial recognition is important, because I need to know who I'm dealing with, if it's just a real, or so that I'll know what is fake and what is real. That is why a facial recognition is there. So once you do all these things, I'm going to now collect all those data, right, and analyze them, and I check who you are, then I approve you. Once I approve you, your identity is now going to be verified, and you now have access to the app. So generally, the data are being stored in our very own database, right? And that database is called CDNDB, and it's
Mm.
just built for my ecosystem alone. I never can tell what the future can tell, if people will maybe later on want to blend in to use the database. But for now, the database is just for Sidentia only.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for that. Now, you made mention of the fact that you guys receive biometrics. Now, you talked about face. So, is it just a
Yeah.
person's face that you guys receive, or at any point do you guys receive also fingerprints or something, or probably
But yeah,
sometime in the future?
for now, it's just facial recognition, because I feel that is the easiest method to do right now. Because once we're dealing with fingerprints, it has to do with hardwares, and since you know I'm building this, I don't necessarily need to rush the whole thing. I need to start with the ground basics. So for the facial recognition, for now, then later on we could decide in making fingerprints parts, just to add additional layer to the security aspect of the user.
Hmm. All right, all right. I think that's actually very lovely. Now, I think people want one question that's going to be in the mind of people is number one. You made mention that you are the one storing this thing. That you guys have a local database that you are currently
Yes,
using right now, which is currently just only accessible by you or the Credential team. All right. So, at any
yes.
point, or is there at any point where someone can totally delete his or her data of your system or your database?
Yes, you have the right. That is why the database is going to have its terms and condition. You have the right to do whatever you want to do. If you want to revoke, if you want to delete, you have that privilege to do so. So it's just more like everything is user controlled. Your data is user controlled. And when it comes to compliance, I know how compliance works when it comes to a lot of countries and their own rules and regulations and all those things. I get that fact, but I'm not fully knowledgeable about the whole thing. But I have the ground basics when it comes to all this, compliance on how different countries set up their data and all those stuff. So that is why in anything I'm doing, I'm going to make sure that the database is going to be in favor of how the country or whatever region I find myself. So I'm going to make sure that it patches up, it matches up to you know, their rules and regulation.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. I think that's fair, and I think you just answered one question I wanted to ask because we know that WorldCoin just got suspended from
Yeah,
Kenya and Spain and some other countries also because of this
exactly.
regulation issues. All right,
Yes.
so but are there current steps that you are taking to stay ahead of this regulation stuffs?
Well, for now, I don't really, um, I don't really have the connections yet, right,
Hmm.
to really flow with how the systems works. So, but I believe with time, I'm going to be, you know, I will have actually have that connections, meet people to tell me how I can, because I actually met a friend of mine. She was actually in the UK, and she was telling me on how UK regulations works and all those things like that. So she was like,
Hmm.
okay, when she gets back, she would give me more information on how I could, make the system more appropriate for
Hmm.
regions, right?
Hmm.
So yeah,
Oh, all right, all right. I think that's pretty much fair. By the way, there's no problem with that.
yeah,
But when you're talking about this that you're building now, it's we're talking
yeah.
about identity systems. It creates two groups: the verified groups and the
Groups
unverified
and
groups.
verified
Yeah.
groups, yes.
So what happens to those people that don't get verified on your platform? Is it that you guys just delete whatever it is that they've submitted, or you have a way of probably just letting them in or something?
No, okay. Based on that, everybody's welcome to use my platform, right? Everybody's welcome to use my platform. Now, the reason why I created the unverified and the verified identities, because based on psychology, on how psychology works, if you see an unverified person, you would know, okay, this person is not really, like, he's not willing, or he doesn't want to be, because I believe that a lot of people like staying private. I've actually
Yeah.
been in the decentralized world. I've seen how decentralized world. A lot of people like staying private, and when it comes to decentralized world, people like being, open. But a lot of things are happening in the decentralized world when it comes to anonymous accounts and all these things like that. So I want my users to really have the psychology, in the sense that once they see an unverified person, they will have this judge. Maybe they can judge it themselves, right? It could be like, okay, this person is unverified, this person is a verified person. Take for instance, if I'm a jobber, right, and I see this person is a verified person, I would like to work with this verified person compared to the unverified person. So it's more like I'm playing a game of, psychology with the
Okay.
users. So it's not just, I just want to just put the feature whereby, yeah, I know a lot of people like staying private. So I just want to create that, psychology whereby people can really identify what is verified and what is unverified. So I believe a lot of people like, making connections with verified people. So that is why that feature is there. And it also comes with the aspect that each user or each identity comes with a trust score, whereby I call it, I rate it 0 to 100,
Mm.
right? But the way the trust score works is the fact that I give out the trust score for those that use my platform. But some people just, I don't know if I'm going to say this or if I'm going to take so much time, but I don't want to go really deep dive. If I was to do this explanation, I feel like I'll be taking over the live stream and all those things like that. But I just want to keep it on the ground basics. When it comes to the trust score level, the trust scores are going to be rewarded according to those who are willing to be trustworthy. I don't know if you understand what I mean when
Yeah,
I
I
say
understand
that.
what you mean. I understand that.
Yes. So that is something which I additionally added to the identities.
All right, thank you. But my next question now is, how does the blockchain actually comes into play with this that you're building? What way are
Okay.
you utilizing the blockchain?
All right. Thank you very much. When it comes to the blockchain, whatever goes into the blockchain can never be like, I don't
I think we
feel it
lost
can
you there.
change when it comes to change. I'm using Polygon. I don't know if you know chain that is
Mm,
Matic, right? I know a lot are not
I-
focused on Polygon. There's not a lot of traction that is in the Polygon system, but the blockchain is going to be incorporated in the database. So that's to tell us that any transactions that happen there cannot change. So maybe if there's a P2P, there's a something that you want to give out proof to tell, okay, I paid you, all these things like that. So the blockchain is there to tell people that this happened at this
mm,
social time, this
okay.
happened at this. Yes. So that is
Mm,
why the blockchain is incorporated only in the database.
okay. So, but let's now talk about you. I know you are not just building this because of you have the passion for securing people's data. How do you intend
Yeah.
to make revenue from this that you've built?
Okay. When it comes to my revenue stream, we have 10 revenue models.
Wow, beautiful. I think we lost David there for a second. Probably he had a call. A call is something is interrupting his internet. Sorry, just trying to fix this. So second. All right. So while we wait for him to probably get that sorted, I'll just take us down to his Twitter. And once again, a very big shout out to everyone currently watching us right now, either on X, Facebook, or YouTube. Always a privilege to be sitting right in front of you guys talking about amazing things that people are building here in the Web3 space. And just in case you don't know, my name is Benjamin. I'm known as Web3 boy here in the web. I say Web3 boy. I'm known as Web3 boy here in the Web3 space, and I am the founder of Afroplay and also the host of Onchain Africa. And just in case you're joining Onchain Africa for the first time, what we do here at Onchain Africa is that we speak to African founders building remarkable, brilliant things here in the Web3 space. And today with me, we have David, who is building Sedentia, all right, which is actually a trust layer for security verification and people's data to prove that who they are and they are actually humans also. And just in case you want to follow up with what they are building, I want to quickly share my screen so you can just see their Twitter page and also give them a follow on X. I don't know, someone I closed my Twitter. So here is their website. Yep. So here's their website. You can just look up their website. And I think that you can register right now, sign up for their wait list, which I think has about 22 days left. All right. So just visit the website, and I think should lead you or link you down to everything that you need to know about this that they're building, their roadmap, and also their socials. I mean, this website has a lot of information. All right. So they even have up to TikTok. So please do well to check out their website. Their website is syntentia.com, and you can see it here on my screen. Yeah, so that's the website. So do what you're going to follow check out their website so you can stay up to speed or get all necessary information you'd love to know about Sidentia. All right, I think we have David back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sorry, network took me out.
there's no problem. That's fine. You were saying something, sir.
Yeah, so when it comes to the revenue model, we have 10 products, and the products are actually found in the features. And if you see, if you check through the website, you would see a place called Save Linking. We have a feature called Live Vote, and we have a feature called the end-to-end encryption message chat part. And all those things are going to come with subscriptions, whereby based on how I've seen the products, I'm going to give out the basic, like giving out the basic package, the standard package, and the pro package. So, and for those who have to bear in mind, there's going to be like a subscription when it comes to identity, right? I'm using the concept on how we have our national voters card and all these things, how these things expire, right? People have to go to renew those things, right? And that is something that is also part of the ecosystem where people actually have to pay their monthly subs for their identities and all those things like that. But everything is going to come out based on the packages from the basic to the standard and the pro. So, and a whole lot, like I said, I don't really have even now I'm still figuring out the revenue model for it. There's still more which I need to add up, do the maths and how I see it, and we push forward.
All right, all right. I mean, you guys are doing a great job here, and I cannot even deny that fact. Fortunately, all right. So, and I really have to give you guys your shout out and give you your flowers because you are actually at a cutting edge of technology when it comes to data, identity, and proof of personality. Also, I think those things are very, very important. Also, so I think we just have barely just 10 minutes left to go. I would love to know how you actually um, well, I don't know. Can you hear me? Are you there? Uh, I don't know. Are you there, David?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I think this will be my last question for you, actually. Okay, so that we can you can just go and probably just rest or something. I
Yeah.
would love to know how for those people actually watching right now, how you are able to manage academics and Sidentia actually. How are you able to manage these two things? And is one suffering for the other one to survive, or you are
Social media,
finding a
exactly.
or you are finding a perfect balance for the two?
Yes, I it's To be honest, for those who are watching this, it's not easy. It's not easy because my education, I won't lie, my education is suffering in the
Mm,
sense that the time which I'm supposed to rest, I'm out there working. And sometimes I don't even know if it's something that is going to work out for me. I just keep on doing, I
mm,
just keep on doing the same thing. But when it comes to balancing, right, because we have 24 hours in a day, how I
mm-hmm,
do it is that I use 10 hours to work. I
mm.
calculate the 24 hours in a day and I use 10 hours to work. Now, I'm mostly the night time is the time which I I am always awake, but it's not actually every night. Sometimes, but most of my nights I spend.
I think we lost David there again.
8 to 10 hours. Can you hear me? Sorry about that. I just have someone phoning me.
No, no, no problem. It's fine. You can go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you
Sorry
now, so you
about
can go
that.
ahead now. No, it's
Yeah,
fine.
so when it comes to balancing,
Mm. I think David is actually having calls entering his phone, and that's interrupting the live stream. Oh, all right. So let's just move ahead and all right. So to everyone who joined us today, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You just have to run. I personally also have to warn. So please do also watch out for our website. We have amazing things that are currently cooking right now that we cannot disclose at the moment. But as time goes on, definitely would disclose those things, how we are expanding, how we are growing, and how we are trying to get a lot better. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thank you for joining myself and David. And if you'd love to know more about what is building at Sidentia, please head down to their website at cidentia.com, cidentia.com. All right, so you can just follow up what they're building, and all of their social media platforms or handles are tied down to the website. So to see my next on our next live stream, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Amazing being in front of you guys. Amazing also learning about what David is building at Sidentia. Thank you once again, guys. Have a wonderful week and stay safe. Bye for now.